Hi, I'm Keiko at Wisteria Surrey Ranch, and today I'm going to show you how I needle felt sleeping dogs, like these. And you can always put different colors on them, so I'm going to show you the base. Oh, this one has little hands too, or really tiny. And if you want to stick around until the end, I can show you how to add little Santa hats so you can make them into ornaments. I think I have one more. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so now I'm going to cover the materials you'll need to create your little felted dog. So you'll want your foam felting needle, core wool, about 0.2 ounces. This is sheep's wool to felt the base shape so that you got a nice sturdy shape, and a little extra wool. To cover the surface, since I'm going to make a little white dog, I'm going to use Surrey alpaca bat. You can use roving, but I just happen to have some bat around. That's B-A-T-T. Okay. And you don't use Surrey alpaca for the core because it's really slippery and doesn't really hold shape very well, but it's beautiful on the surface. And then you just need a little pinch of black for the eyes and nose, and whatever you want for the decoration, like collar or Santa hat. And if you want to make the other colored dogs, you would get some other colors like fawn and gray here. Some of this color for the ears. And I do have a complete kit on my at my Etsy shop that includes a lot of the materials I'm talking about here, so I'll add a link below. And I think we can get started on the step-by-step. Okay, so your first step is to get your 0.2 ounces of wool, which is about this much, and we're going to roll it. So some projects really require you to roll it really tight. This one, not so much, because we're going to be putting a little curve in it. So I'm just going to roll it like this and poke. The final dog will be pretty solid, but the initial bit, we don't need to roll it as tight as I would for other projects. So we're going to just roll this around so it doesn't get stuck to the foam. Yep. And then I'm just going to poke in the ends. And I think I'm using a 36 gauge felting needle right now. That's what I think, because that's really great for quick felting of shapes for core wool. I generally like to use the finer gauge needles for the surface, especially when I use Surrey alpaca, because it's very fine. Okay, so you're going to just kind of keep working on it until you get kind of a sausage shape that you like. That's this. Okay. Okay, so right now at this point, it doesn't have to be particularly clean and neat because we need to shape it a little bit to give it the nice little curve. So depending on which way you want your dog to face, so if you want the dog to face, have the head on this end versus this end and how they curl, that's how you decide. So the head side, okay, backwards. Okay, so this is going to be my head size. So I'm going to take about a third point here, and this is where I'm going to put in the curve. So this is the head right here, and this is going to be the body. So it's still kind of soft, and so I can shape it so it's kind of got that little bit of curled up look. And the degree you do this is really up to you, because this one's really curled in, and so is this one. It's really curled in. But this one has her head or his head more out. So there's no right or wrong. Whatever works for you, or whatever it ends up being. Okay, so you would put a little line in the about the third, And then to give this kind of like the curled in leg look, we're gonna go ahead and do like a little curl right here, kind of where their back leg would be. Okay, you see that? Okay, so let me show you that. Okay, so that's kind of where their leg would be if they're curled in. Okay, so there's your basic shape here, and then now you've got to figure out what kind of dog you're going to have. So, is your dog going to have a big muzzle or a smaller muzzle? And depending on that, so let me actually clean this one up a little bit. So I'm just shaping it a little bit here. Okay. I'm keeping it a little light. You can go a lot tighter, but I just want to make sure I can give you the basics and you can spend as much time as you want. Okay, so I'm going to create where the muzzle's gonna be by poking, just so I know where I want my little nose for my dog, like this. Okay, let me check. Oh, he's a little big. Okay. A little smaller. Okay. Okay, so is this going to be the smaller one? So I'm going to kind of shape the head right now. Like this. Okay. And at this point, I'm going to have a dog with a slightly longer nose. So if you want it flatter, you just keep it like that. If you want a slightly taller or longer or bigger nose, then you just take a little extra wool. And it's probably going to be easier if you secured it a little bit. Can you see that? Yeah. Just so it doesn't flop around. Okay. And then I'm going to attach it. Okay, can you see? Okay. Okay, so it looks a little big right now. So I'm attaching the nose. And you can kind of shape it a little flatter or a little more narrow. Just kind of depends on the look of the dog you want. And remember, all of this is going to be covered because this is just the core sheep's wool. And I'm going to be covering my doggy. Okay, let me see. Yeah, I think that's okay. And again, all you have to do is keep poking it into the shape you want, but I'm going to go ahead and show you the next step. So you have the whole process. Oh, whoops. Let me add a tail first. It's actually easier if you add the tail at this point. You can add it later, but I was trying it both ways, and it's easier if you add a tail at this point. So again, if you have a dog with a short tail breed or a long tail breed, you just create the tail in the length you want. So let me move this over. So I'm just kind of rolling the tail. And I'm going to secure it. Pretty quickly and easily. Okay, so I'm just doing that really quick bit so I can attach it. So I'm going to see where I want it. I think that's going to work. So I'm going to attach this end. And that's kind of why I left both ends loose, so it's easier for me to attach. Okay, and then I'm gonna go, let me just look at it real quick, okay. Okay, so then I'm going to attach this end as well, and that's why the tail didn't have to be perfect shaped yet. Okay. Just to be sure, I'm going to go ahead and poke it in a little bit. Flatten. Okay. Okay, I'm going to fix it just a bit. So you can always work on the back side, the front side. All right, that will work for now. Okay, so now I'm going to do this doggy in white. So I have a bat, which kind of comes off in layers like this, which actually makes it faster and easier because I can just wrap my dog in this. But if you only have roving, let me just show you a quick way you can do that. Is this an easy color? Okay, so this bat, I can pretty much just go like this and wrap and start poking, which is going to be really nice and easy. But if you don't have that and you have roving, let me see. Okay, so you can sort of hold the end and pull, sort of fluff it up a little bit. Okay, and kind of do it like this. So when you pull it gently like that, you're going to get it at the natural length of the fiber. So, okay, so you can kind of see what I'm doing, right? Yeah. So that's how you can work with the roving so that you don't have to keep putting it one little bit at a time. You can kind of create a little thing like this. See, it didn't take much. Okay. And to make it even easier, okay, so don't do too much because then it'll get stuck on your foam. Let me just do a quick bit just to keep it together. Peel it off. That not work too well. Yeah, sort of, kind of. So that would be another way you can just sort of put it over a dog. You can also gently pre-felt it in your hands. This is another quick technique I like to use for a lot of different things, little projects. Okay, so this, now I don't know, I usually do Surrey and it works really well for Surrey because it's thin. But there, see, that will help you keep it together. So you can do a quick felt like that and wrap it around, which makes it faster versus trying to wrap one bit at a time. Let me roll that over. Okay, now back to our doggy, white doggy. Okay, so here is my white bat. And I am going to wrap this little dog. And I'm going to go ahead and start poking it in on this side so it's a little easier. Okay. Got my guineas. Okay, and then poke. This is the back side of, oops, sorry. Back side of my doggy. Okay. Now I'm on the top, I'm working on the top side of the dog. Okay, and here's the tail, so I'm just going to go ahead and put the little tail there so you can see. Okay, and then where's my little doggy? Here it is. Okay, and then there's the leg. Okay, so you're kind of seeing it coming together. So just putting this on. There's always some noise on the farm. Okay, so the head, let me just look at it real quick. Okay, so I just smoothed it out so I can get a better definition, and then I'm putting, I'm tightening it a little bit to put it on the bottom. Okay, and now I'm starting to see where the muzzle is. So I'm going to go ahead and poke this a little bit more. And again, take a little more time to secure it, but I'm going to go ahead and continue so you can see the next steps. Okay, so, Okay, so actually at this point, I want to show where the head is a little bit. So I'm going to poke right here just a little bit so I can kind of see the head. And then tighten behind it. Okay. How are you looking, doggy? Very good. Okay. All right. So next, and anywhere where you like see like a bald spot, you can always add more of your color roving, or if you wanted this little doggy to have like a brown on its back, this is where you can add the brown. Okay, so next are going to be this little doggy's ears. So, sorry, I'm making sure you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so the ears. So you can have different ears. So you can make triangular ears that stand up. You can make little ears that go down. You can make bigger ears. And it's all really like the same technique for the most part. So I'm going to try to make big triangular ears. So I'm going to try and get about the same. Okay. And this is kind of a big fluffy mess right now. So this is actually easier with roving when it's a little more narrow like that. So I'm going to make it like a roving. And okay, so I'm gonna try and fold it up a little bit. That's gonna probably not be big enough. Okay, let me double layer that. Okay, and I'm just gonna kind of fold it like so, and then I'm just going to secure it so it's a little easier to work with. Can you see? A little bit. Now I got white fluff everywhere. Okay, so this is what I have so far for one of the ears. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it into like a triangular tip like this. Okay, let's see if I can do that. Okay. So it's not quite perfect right now, but you'll get the idea. Okay. There we go. Okay, so you kind of see the triangular ear, and this would be a great time to put like a little bit of pink if you want pink on the inside of a dog that's got a standing ear. If it's down, you probably won't be able to see it. So, okay. Since this is going to be on a dog with a flipped down ear, oh, this way. Ooh, where's the dog? Okay. I'm not going to worry too much about what the inside's going to look like. So this is going to be my outside. So, and this is still where the fluff is. So this is where it's going to attach. So I'm going to, that's going to work for me for right now. Okay. And I'm going to I'm going to hold this pretty tight and remove the little bit extra because it's a little much. Okay, so this is where the part ends. This is where I'm going to attach. And I'm going to need to make 2 of these. So let's see if I can do the other one faster. Okay, so I'm just going to roll. And there are different ways to make your ears, but this is just one way. Okay. Ooh. Okay, so I'm folding in the ends. And we're going to pretend these are exactly the same size, even if they're not. Okay, let's see how it looks. Yeah, it's not too bad. Okay. It's not quite exactly, but for demo purposes, I'm just going to go ahead and keep going. Okay. So, if this is happening to you and you want to know how to fix it, actually, you know what, that might be helpful. Okay, so let's say I like this ear because it's nice and thick, and this one's not as thick. So all you'd have to do, and I don't know if you can really see the difference. Okay, all you'd have to do is on the ear that's not thick enough, I like to kind of pre-felt it with my hands so it's a little easier to handle, and I would just attach it like this. So there's a quick fix. Hopefully they'll come in handy. It's really hard to make ears like two exactly the same and stuff, especially like when you're trying to get it in the same shape. It does help if you measure it out first and get similar amounts, but I don't think I was being as exact. Okay, so the direction you poke in is the direction it shrinks, so I'm trying to round the bottom of the ear, and so I'm poking it towards me right now. Okay. Alright, so these ears will do. So if you wanted these to be the droopy long ears, you just make them a little bit longer, but same concept. Instead of folding it in a triangle, you probably want to round it out a bit more. Okay, so I'm just going to show you how you would attach it if it were standing, but I'm not going to actually do it because I want to make this one with the ears hanging down. So if you were going to make it a standing ear, okay, pick the side you want on the front, and you could do it different ways, but you could either fluff this bottom up and sort of put it like this and then poke it in. I'm just going to do it really lightly. Okay, like that. And if you want to give it, well, a little more of a kind of like a curved in look, then you would poke in the center like that. Okay, and you would do it for both the same way. Okay, where I'm going to want the ear, I'm going to actually put it going this way so that I can cover it over. So I'm going to add it in this way, poke it in this way. Let me go ahead and do that. And do it lightly the first time in case you need to move the position. Okay. Okay. Not gonna work for me? Is it higher? I think I want it a little higher, so I'm gonna pull it up, move it up. Poke, 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 poke. Poke, poke. Okay. Okay, so if I'm happy with roughly where it is, then I'm going to poke it in. And I'm actually gonna clean this up down here a little bit. So, okay, I think you can see what I'm doing. So I'm gonna poke it in. Secure it. And then I'm gonna fold the ear down, and then I'm also going to secure the top right here. And I will also generally poke to keep it down. So both sides of the ear. Okay. Okay, so I got the one ear in, and then I'm going to have to look at it and see where I'm going to put the next ear in. Okay. Other way, this way. Okay, so same idea. I'm going to go ahead and just do it. Can you see? Yeah, okay. I think you can see now. So I'm poking it in, but I'm going to check it. Yep, that'll work for now. Okay, so I'm going to poke in the little fluff. Okay, fold it down. Secure the ear a little bit. Okay, let me look at it. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I think I want it. Okay, so I want it to go forward a little bit more, so I'm gonna see if I can Okay, so now that the ears are in, I'm going to tighten up a little bit more of the dog. Okay. Open the muzzle. Okay, let me look at it. It's hard to do it with without looking at it. Okay. Okay. Ow! Okay, just got myself. Okay, so we got the ears. Now let's do the eyes and nose. Okay, so I'm gonna get a little bit of my black. I'm gonna go ahead and do the nose first. So I'm getting a little bit of black and I'm gonna roll it. Roll it, roll it, roll it. Okay. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and shape it just a little bit. Okay, just a little bit. Okay, and then I'm going to poke it in here. So I'm gonna poke in the 3 points first, right here on both ends, and then I'm gonna see if it's centered enough. Okay. Give me 1 sec. I think I need to angle it just a bit. Okay, good. I think that'll work. So then once I like the position, then I will poke the rest of the nose in. And if you need a bigger nose, just add more black. And you can do a brown nose, a pink nose. They're all cute. Okay. Now if your dog is awake in the sleep position, you can always just roll eyes into circular balls and make it like a sleeping position dog with open eyes. But I'm going to show you with kind of like the sleepy eyes. So I'm taking a little bit here and rolling, rolling, rolling. I'm trying to make kind of like a little thread. And I'm just kind of folding in both, so I have something like this so far. It's been rolled, and then I'm going to actually fold both ends in and roll again. Okay, so got something like that so far. Ooh, where am I? Okay, so let me see if I can make 2 of these. Even though I'm not 100% sure it's the right size. And again, this can be trial and error. You might need to do it a couple times, but that's okay. Just gonna see if I can. So this time I measured it out a little closer. Okay, so good. Now I've got like 2 little things like this, and I'm going to position it, and I want a little like U shape. So I'm going to poke one end in, and then the, let me see if I can do this with this direction. Okay, so I'm gonna have to pull it down just a little bit. Let me like get that. Okay, that'll work for today. Okay. So you're just going to be poking it in really carefully like that, and then the other eye. Let me see if, okay, I'm gonna have to look at it to do this right. Okay, so poke in like the one end first. Is that gonna be too close? So I'm poking in this end to get that position first, and then I think that'll work. I want a little upwards direction on the, okay. Can you see that? Oh, sorry. Ooh, that way? Okay, so I'm being really careful, kind of shaping it as I go, but I'm not really looking at it directly, so hopefully that works. Okay, okay, now I'm gonna have to look at it. Oh, okay. A little bit more, okay. All right, so you might want to work on this a little bit more. And if you don't like the size, you can always pull it out and resize it. I've done that, but again, let's keep going. Okay, so now would be a really good time to sort of clean the doggy up and sort of poke it in more, felt it tighter. If you've got any places you want to tighten, just kind of keep going. And clean the puppy up. If you want to just add a collar, you can add a collar with a little bit of any color you have. It's really easy to do. So with this, you can just kind of go like that. I'm just rolling it and then poking. So yeah, let's go ahead and give this doggy a red color. I'm going to go ahead and okay, so the ears are in the place. Let's see what I want to do about that. So in this case, I'm gonna go ahead and pull a little bit off so I don't have to force it under the ear too much. So I made it a little thinner here. And then I'm going to pick up on it again here. Okay. So right here, I'm seeing a slight bald spot here, so that's something I would probably fix. But yeah, so there's your little sleeping dog, and if you want to stick around, I will do a little Santa hat. Okay, so I'm back again, and we are going to add a little Santa hat to our sleeping dog to make them into little ornaments. Like this. Okay, so let me get the ornaments out. So all you'll need is a little bit of red, and I actually dyed the core wool that I use with some Kool-Aid dye, and there is a quick tutorial on how to just dye the sheep's wool, or any wool actually, so that you have a lot of different colors. Okay, and then you'll need a little bit of white for the hat top. So, to make the hat, I'm going to get a little bit of this red. Don't think I'm going to need it all. And I'm going to make it a little thicker on the bottom so that it turns into a bit more of a triangular shape. So, I'm going to start. Okay, so I'm kind of rolling it. Okay, I'm kind of angling it and rolling it so I can get a thicker bottom. Okay. Alright. And then I'm going to poke around, all around, all around. And you can do this a little tighter. I'm just going to show you so you can just see the process. Okay, so I'm poking in the top to make it more pointy. Okay, and since it needs to go on the head, I'm going to just check the size. So I'm opening it up a little bit, and then I'm going to see how the size will look. Okay, so the size is good. If you wanted a thicker more of a triangular hat, you can always add a bit more on the bottom. Here, I'll show you what that might look like. So kind of just taking a little extra towards the bottom and wrapping like that. So you can create any shape really by adding as you please. Okay. And then just keep poking until you get that triangular shape. A little firm is good, a little firmer, but I'm going to continue. So I want the little white stuff on top, the pom-poms, so I'm going to take some white. Again, this is also the sheep's core wool. Okay, and I'm going to poke this into like a circle. Little pom-pom. Okay, and I'm not going to spend too much time on this because when we put it together, it can sort of distort again. So I'm just going to add the pom-pom to the tip like this, so it's attached. Okay, once it's attached, I'm going to shape it. So you just kind of need a little bit of fluff that you can attach. Okay, so there's the hat so far. Okay, and you can make this really big or small. And then I'm going to double check. Okay, so this looks pretty good. So I'm going to put the hat on here. Like this. I'm just poking the end or the edges. Okay. Okay. And if the position's okay, I'm going to add the white brim around the hat. So I'm going to take some white. I'm going to go ahead and roll it a little bit, and let me just see what I'm doing. Okay. All right. Okay, so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm just poking this in to kind of cover where I attached it. You can clean it up as much as you want. Okay. There. So take a little more time to tidy that up. Now, I really want this hat to sort of angle a little bit, so it's got a bit of a cute angle. So to do that, I'm actually just going to poke in here. To angle it, and let me look at it because it's all backwards. Okay. Yeah. There. So that just sort of angled it by just poking it like you just saw. Okay, so take a little more time maybe to clean it up, and you can always thread some gold thread to make it into an ornament. I found that with thread it goes right through, so I've had to use some beads on the back side to keep the string from going right through. So hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Have an amazing day. Bye bye.